My name is Rodney Getz. I'm from South Charleston, Ohio. Our studio name is Champion City Sports Photography. We are primarily a volume studio. However, we do have the occasional senior and wedding that pops in. For the most part, we're doing youth sports and school work. We've been in business for approximately 12 years. We got started in photography more of a joke than anything else. When my first daughter was born, my wife went to a portrait studio to have the typical portraits made. And after seeing the results and the cost involved with those, I quickly decided that I could do that. And shortly thereafter went out and bought a camera and decided I'm going to give this a shot. We attended a road show for volume photography. It was held in Dayton, Ohio, and thought, hey, this is something we're not doing. Let's give it a shot. Let's go to this class, see what it's about. Maybe it's something that we could be interested in. And after attending the show, it was a business-changing move. We from that point on, we decided, hey, we're not doing portraits anymore. We're not going to pursue the seniors and the weddings. We're going to be a volume sports and school business. And from that point on, we've never looked back. While at the road show, we learned several different things that would help us later on prove to be very successful in our area in volume photography. One of which is just your appearance and your displays when you set up at a volume event. Being able to make yourself appear as though you have everything figured out, and working with banners and signage and tents, anything that just makes you pronounced and let people know here we are. We started traveling around to all of our area organizations, finding out if they were accepting bids. If so, requesting to put on a presentation for each of their organizations. And every time we'd walk in with our signage and our products and our displays, the leagues were just blown away. They just didn't know what to say because they've never had anybody come in and provide a presentation for their organization. It's always been somebody, a mom with a camera, or somebody that just really had never done volume photography. So walking into these presentations, we just blew them away. They were more than happy to bring us on, and we've retained almost every single league ever since. After attending the road show in Dayton, Ohio, we were able to get into various sports leagues for presentations for their business. We were able to secure approximately 15 to 20 leagues in the time period of attending the road show and going to an H&H schools class. The reason why we attended an H&H schools class was because the principal of the district, or the superintendent of the district, had seen how successful we had been with all of the volume sports photo shoots that we've been doing around the community, that he was very impressed, saw how professional we were, and wanted to invite us into the school and give that same kind of service to his school. And so from that point on, we've been doing work with schools. Well, while we were at the class, we picked up on a device called the Opticon scanner, which is used in the school photography. And while in the class, we decided, or while on our way home from that class, we figured out that that device can be used for sports. And so we spent hours working on workflows and different ideas on how we can implement that one device into our sports business. Well, prior to using an Opticon scanner, our workflow was pretty labor intensive on the back end. We would go to the photo shoot, and if we were at a photo shoot for, say, 4 hours, we would come back to the studio and we'd have approximately 4 hours of data entry. Once we were exposed to the Opticon scanner, what we found out was that we could get data, get rosters, and import them into the H&H School software, use the Opticon scanner so that we would no longer have to enter that data anymore, therefore freeing up those hours on the back end of our workflow. Some of the benefits that we found with using the Opticon scanner was that it increased our ordering accuracy. It decreased spelling errors because we didn't have to touch the keyboard anymore, so the information that was given to us was the information that was already into the system. It just had multiple facets of time savings that came along with the use of that piece of equipment. With the use of the scanner, it's allowed us to have more time to go find more leagues, make more proposals, and secure those jobs that we would not have had time to do because we would have been back at the studio hand entering data. So because of that, our volume has increased. We're now we're photographing more leagues and in turn making more money. So it's all hand in hand. So when we go to our photo shoots, we have 4 to 5 people per camera. One being the photographer. We also have assigned jobs such as a poser, somebody at the sales table, somebody that kind of wrangles, if you will, the children into a corral so that we can keep everybody in an efficient photo manner. The nice thing about using the Opticon scanner is that prior to having it, we would photo a team, and if we had somebody running late, we're kind of waiting on that late person before we moved on to the next team. Now we can shoot as many teams as we need to in any order because they're already pre-assigned codes within the software, and we don't need to wait for anybody. We photograph them as they show up, and therefore we're not wasting time on photo day. As we've increased our volume, we've gone from just my wife and I to approximately 8 to 10 people per photo shoot. Every time we walk out the door, we'll have a staff that goes along with us, which makes for a more efficient, a more friendly experience for the customers, and a much easier workload on ourselves when it comes to setting up and tearing down. It's all around just a better experience now. That's the nice thing. We did not have to increase our back-end staff because there's not as much work that has to be done. We're looking at maybe 15 minutes of work for every hour that we're photographing the children. So it's a dramatic decrease in back-end work just strictly because of the scanning capabilities. We're using H&H Image Host to take care of any late orders, specifically the late orders, because we don't want to be tied up with onesie, twosie orders coming in here and there. We directly route everybody to our website, and it takes them to the H&H Image Host where they can find their child, place their order, and have their package shipped directly to their home, which takes us out of the loop and then in turn doesn't tie us up and doesn't take advantage of our time. Some of the things that we're seeing or using now are the simple options that are in the H&H school software such as banding and sorting of products. You know, prior to coming to H&H, the lab we used shipped everything in bulk to the studio. So then we'd have to sort every piece of product shipped to us and bag it individually. Now it comes banded, ready to be delivered to the end customer. And by using that kind of service, that also frees us up with time, and it allows us to have more time to spend with the family. You know, we've got 3 little daughters, and it just gives us a little more family time, so we're not spending hours hand sorting all the items that the leagues are ordering.